Just because you don't like it doesn't mean it's not
Can
every
it?
mayor
Do you
decided.
think it has anything to do with liking it? Do you think I like that feature?
Reevaluation.
This has not been an effective use of our time. I think we can all agree that through academics playing online quizzes has definitely played itself out.
What else is there to do? We're all furloughed, the university is hemorrhaging money, and you just know that a philosophy PhD student will be the
You
first to
can
go.
philosophise wherever you like. Without access to my lab, my work is dead in the water.
Perhaps we need to look at an area where theoretical physics and philosophy meet.
What are you thinking?
Theology.
Listen, man, we went to all those meetings you dragged us to.
Yeah, I got the booklet. It was very informative.
But would you please not take us down this road again?
Just answer me this. Do you believe in God?
Yeah,
Well, of course
God
we believe
is a
in
wonderful
God.
idea.
Well, in the sense that we can all be considered divine beings, that there's a bit of God
In a
in
strictly
all of us.
pantheistic sense, of course.
No, not God as a metaphor. Not God as a representation of the benevolent aspects of mankind. God as a person. God as an actual divine being.
You mean an actual God?
An actual omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscient being.
Be serious.
What if we could prove definitively that there was an actual God?
The problem is, John, is that this topic is not one that lends itself to scientific investigation.
Plus, it's not the sort of thing that would ever get past an ethics committee.
We don't need an ethics committee. We can investigate this on our own.
Without institutional backing, our findings, if we get any, they'll have as much scientific gravitas as flat earthers, homeopathists, or those people who think the moon landings were fake.
What did John Henry Newman say? Such is the constitution of the human mind, that any kind of knowledge, if it be really such,
Is its own reward. So what? You want to prove to yourself that there's a God for the banter?
we've got to do something. Without something to push us, we might as well just give up and go teach at business school.
This is a fool's errand.
Look, I've always respected your beliefs, but
There's no empirical evidence for God. Gods, goddesses, whatever. And besides, religion's just an opiate for the masses. It was never meant for those of a scientific understanding.
Are you sure about that? Because I think Michael Faraday might disagree with you.
John, can we please just...
Louis Pasteur might have some remarks on that
I
assertion.
think what we're trying to say, John, is...
Francis Bacon, Galileo, Isaac Newton might all have something to say about your statement that religion's not designed for those of a scientific understanding. Just because it was co-opted by anti-intellectuals in some parts doesn't mean that faith and science are mutually exclusive.
Fine. We've got nothing else going on.
Where would we start?
You might not know this, but when I'm bored, I like to dabble in eschatology.
Eschatology? Are you trying to tell me that during your downtime, rather than watching Bake Off, you're sitting there trying to predict the end of the world?
There's a lot of hubbub at the moment amongst us in the messianic, eschatological community.
Oh, and by community, do you mean guys in chat rooms who still live with their mums?
There's a lot of interest in our community in a prophecy by a diviner called Balaam in Numbers 24:17, where it says, "A star shall come out of Jacob, a scepter shall rise out of Israel." Some have interpreted that as the harbinger of a Messiah figure, that an actual, literal star would hang over the place where an actual God would actually manifest as a human child to bring about his kingdom.
So, actual God would appear as a child. Seems a bit inefficient, don't you think? You know, one always imagined that if God did exist and took corporeal form, that it would be a physical manifestation that was already potty trained.
That's what all the prophecies point to. A God who takes human form as an infant and arrives in the usual way, more or less. No one has any idea why being human is important to an actual God, but apparently it is.
Oh, that sounds like a bit of a step down, really. Or it could just be for a break. I mean, being omniscient sounds exhausting.
Can't just be any old star, though. There's millions of stars out there. Have to be something really prominent, like planetary alignment or a supernova or something.
There are some reference to this star moving from north to south rather than east to west.
But a star couldn't move like that. Unless it was...
A comet!
And If viewed by astronomers from a constantly moving position, this comet would give the subjective impression of a star hanging over one specific spot.
Halley's Comet is due to be visible for the next 70 days.
Wait. Are we actually saying that all we have to do to find an actual god is chase a comet in the hope that we just find a baby under it and be like, yeah, right place, right time, that's obviously the Messiah?
I mean, that's basically the gist of it, yeah.
Stuff it. I'm in.
Seriously?
What? It's better than watching Homes Under the Hammer in your pants or doom scrolling on Twitter.
This would take extensive research time.
That can be just about covered with a library card and 80% of our salary.
You're forgetting something. This actual God investigation would need someone to problematize our methodology in order to preserve the reliability of our findings.
We'd need you as one of our founding members.
A member of actual God investigation.
Not just a member, you could be the chairman of the MAGI. What do you say?
Yeah, all right. Have to change the name though.